Ladies and gentlemen, the Roth TSP is simply amazing to have in retirement. When you pull the money out, it comes out completely tax-free. It never impacts your Medicare premiums. It's never subject to RMDs when you're forced to take money out down the road from pre-tax or traditional TSP. There's tons of benefits to the Roth TSP, but the question for today is, why is no one using it? If you look at the stats, very few federal employees are actually using the Roth. And today we're going to talk about why that is and why some of you may want to change that. Let's dive in. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dallin Hoswell. I'm a financial planner who serves federal employees just like you, and I love it. So let's dive in. Here are some of the reasons why very few federal employees overall actually use the Roth TSP. Number one, the Roth came late. The traditional was the first one that came along, and that was the default. So back when the Roth showed up, probably about 10 years ago-ish at this point, nobody really knew about it. And whenever something is new, most of the time people don't just jump on, okay? And people that were working before, again, the default was the traditional. So people just simply didn't start using it right away. And right now, the default, even for new employees, the default, if they don't change anything in their TSP, the default 5% goes into the traditional every single time, okay? And even if people do know about it, it is simply hard to ignore that if you put money into the traditional TSP right now, you get a tax deduction today. Now, actually, let me give a quick background on the main difference between the traditional and the Roth TSP. Okay, so traditional. With the traditional TSP, if you use it, you get a tax deduction today for putting money in. For example, let's say your salary is $100,000. If you put $10,000 in the traditional TSP this year, then you're taxed as if you only made $90,000. That's how it works, where you get a tax deduction for whatever you put in the traditional TSP. On the Roth side, however, you do not get this tax deduction, okay? You're taxed as if you made your entire salary in this example. So, if you did move from the traditional to the Roth, you no longer get the deduction that comes with the traditional, which a lot of people don't want to give up. Now, why do people want to use the Roth, right? If you don't get the deduction, what do you get? Well, again, like I said at the beginning, it can grow, and it all comes out tax-free in retirement. You never have to worry about the taxes on that money, which is fantastic. And so, again, when you pull the money out, it doesn't impact your tax bracket. It doesn't impact how much you pay for Medicare, because if you didn't know, Medicare is based on your income, and this doesn't increase your income when you pull money out, which is fantastic. And again, in your 70s, the traditional TSP has RMDs where you're required to pull money out at certain ages every single year and pay taxes. There is no such thing like that on the Roth. So there's tons of perks here, tons of perks. Okay, but again, you got to make sure it makes sense for you. Now, next reason why some people don't use the Roth TSP. Now, this is actually a reason that isn't true, okay? I talk to a lot of people, and all the time I hear this. I hear people saying, hey, well, I want to put at least 5% of my contributions, of my salary, into the traditional so I get the matching contributions from my agency. And that is simply not true. You don't have to put in at least 5% of your salary into the traditional to get the match. This is how it works. If you put in at least 5% of your salary into either the traditional or the Roth, or some of both, doesn't matter, then your agency on your behalf will also put money into the traditional side, okay, as their matching contributions. But you can put your money on either side. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the match either way, okay? So I just wanted to make sure. I hear that a lot, and that is simply not true, is that you could use either one. As long as you put at least 5% of your salary, you'll still get the matching contributions, okay? Now, here are a couple of other reasons why the Roth TSP is so beneficial to have. Number one, if you actually want to max out the TSP, let's say right now you're putting in the maximum into the TSP that they'll let you do in 2024, that's $23,000 or $30,500 if you're over 50, okay? Let's say you're putting the most you can put in. the Roth TSP will actually let you put in a little extra. And let me talk you through why. For example, let's say right now you're putting in $23,000, okay? And you're under 50, so that's the most that they'll let you do. Well, if you're putting that into the traditional TSP, that's great. But actually, what if you put the $23,000, okay? So same amount, but you put it in the Roth TSP. That means that's $23,000 of after-tax money being put into the Roth. So for example, $23,000 pre-tax that you're putting in here, after taxes is only worth, I'm just making this up, but let's say it's only worth 18 after you pay the taxes on the withdrawal, okay? So to actually get the most after-tax money set aside every year into the TSP, using the Roth would do that. It would help you actually get as much after-tax money in accounts for retirement, okay? So to actually get the most of the TSP, use the Roth. Use the Roth, okay? Next, what if taxes go up? Okay, so we know, I'm filming this of course in 2024, but we know that the current tax law that we're under started in 2017 and it's set to expire at the end of 2025. So early 2026, if nothing happens, right? If the government does nothing, then we're going to go back to tax rates that they were pre-2017, which was a little higher than we have now. So long story short, taxes would go up. Now, a lot of things can happen between now and then. I'm sure something's going to happen on the tax side. We just don't know. But generally speaking, the consensus that I certainly agree with and that most people think is that over time, taxes are going to be going up. But again, we don't know. We have no crystal ball. But if taxes do go up, putting money into Roth and having Roth money means when you pull money out, you don't have to pay taxes. So this is a hedge against taxes in the future. If they go up, no problem. You got your Roth money. That again comes out completely tax-free. Now, if right now you're kind of convinced, wow, the Roth has tons of advantages, I may want to use it, and you're sad that you really, maybe you're at the end of your career, you don't have any Roth, well, actually in retirement, there's a way to start building up a Roth account anyways, even if you never saved into the Roth during your career, and it's called Roth conversions. Now, I've got other videos on that. I'm not going to go into the details, but long story short, it is moving money from the traditional side over to a Roth IRA, okay? A Roth IRA. You cannot move money from the traditional TSP to the Roth TSP. You're not able to do that, but in retirement, you can move it over to a Roth IRA, which has, again, all those great benefits of being a Roth account. So go check out my other videos if you want to check that out if you don't have any Roth and you want to get some, okay? Again, saving into the Roth, it doesn't make sense for everybody. Some people that are making a ton of money right now, they may not want to use the Roth right now, and I get that, right? But long story short, looking at the numbers, there's way more people that should be using the Roth right now that simply aren't, okay? So I hope that's helpful. And if you've been using the Roth and you've been liking it, stick it in the comments below and share your experience with others so they don't think it's as scary as some people think it is. So I hope that's helpful. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time.